So today I wanted to go over my experience with my u-10. I have had this machine now for about a year. It's overall been a good little machine. It definitely is not a heavy hitter as far as digging strength and so forth, but it makes up for that for being compact, quiet, and easy to get into small spaces. Primarily I've been using this for running utilities like gas lines, power lines, stuff like that to homes where you usually have to get in between fences or tight spaces, and it's done a pretty good job as far as that. That said, I have had a couple jobs where soil that's been driven over for multiple years and compacted really hard, it's had a real hard time breaking through hard surfaces like that. That said, it does definitely fill a niche for my type of work that I do, where I can't get my larger M62 in. I can get this in and usually get the job done. There have been a few times where I need to get into a tight space and this machine just isn't able to dig what I needed it to. But for the most part, it's worked out pretty good. I've got a little over 100 hours on it now. Any job that's going to be a small job or anything like that, I'll tend to grab this. It's just a lot easier to tow it. I can grab a single axle 4,000 pound rated trailer and be able to tow this around without any problem. It's also got really great visibility. It's quiet, so just operating the machine, when you're working with other people or trying to coordinate, it's really nice to not have to yell or slow down the machine or stop to find out what the other person's saying. You can just talk normally. The one thing I have noticed, and this has been an issue since day one, is the tracking on the tracks. Every once in a while, it'll want to veer one side or the other. I don't know if that's just indicative of excavators of this size or not, but it is kind of annoying at times when you're having to stop every once in a while and kind of straighten out the machine to go on a straight track. Other than that, nothing as far as any maintenance issues or anything like that. I am used to, on my M62, having the quick connector on the bucket. This one, you have to change out the pins or pop the pins to be able to change the bucket. So it is a little bit more involved process, and you have to make sure to grease it up every time that you do, because you are essentially pulling out the pin and wiping off that grease and any dirt before reinserting the pin, and then you re-grease it up. So it does take about 10 minutes or so to properly go through and do a bucket change. Like I said, it's not the end of the world, but just something to keep in mind. It would be nice if they had the quick attach like they do on some of the larger machines like the U-17 and larger. They have a form of quick attach, and then of course the larger equipment all use that same type of quick connect with the pin that I like. Other than that, it's I don't have any real issues or complaints. The dozer blade, it would be nice if you could angle that a little bit, especially if you're working in tight spaces. This machine is meant to kind of get in tight areas, so not being able to push your dirt back into the trench with the dozer blade sometimes is kind of annoying, but it's kind of given on a small piece of equipment like this that you're not able to do that. I am thinking at some point of maybe welding up something that will allow me to manually adjust that, so that if I am working on a trench, instead of trying to back up and forward and back and push it in with multiple passes, I might be able to manually angle that front blade. Of course, the other alternative is just use the bucket to scoop it back in, which just takes a little bit more time. As far as the pushing power, it's not terrible. Again, given the size and so forth of this machine, it's able to do the majority of the work you need it to. Usually you have to have the pile not much bigger than the height of the blade to be able to push it properly. Overall, the controls of it are really smooth. I really do like the fact that, unlike the K008, it is an electric control instead of direct hydraulic. Just really smooth, easy operating. It's a very comfortable machine, even though it's on the smaller side. I don't feel any problems when operating it as far as any issues with the feel of it. It feels like I'm running a larger piece of equipment, real smooth, and it's comfortable to sit in it for extended periods of time to do whatever work I'm doing. Overall, it's a fun machine to run, and you know, if you have any kids or anything like that, it would also be kind of nice to teach them how to operate heavy equipment using this, because it is a pretty easy platform to learn on. And I've talked to a couple people who have purchased this machine specifically so that their kids can operate it and learn how to control a piece of equipment. And I can agree, it's a pretty easy piece of machine to get on and operate without any problems. So if you have any questions or anything you'd like to ask me, feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to help you out. And we'll go from there. Have a nice day.